Today we're going to cover Victor for Project Blue, and I think that Victor has a very powerful ability in Project Blue because you are able to run Test of Strength as it's only a common. But the rest of the deck is pretty simple. So when we go through the equipment, we're playing a bunch of blocking equipment. I think Guardian has a huge advantage in Project Blue because it's able to get that extra offhands. And then additionally, you also have Civic Steps as well, and then a Blade Break Block 2 headpiece. We have a strict upgrade now with Old Knocker instead of Blossom Spring, and then we're running the Gauntlets and the Arm Piece. Notably, we're not playing any yellows with Golden Glare. I don't think you need it to turn on the effect of it. The whole point is that it's an unconditional block 2 in Project Blue. So I think that's all you need it to be. The rest of the deck is pretty simple. We're playing all the good Guardian attacks. So with the rares, we get some pretty broken cards, in my opinion, in this format. We get access to Red Thunderquake, Red Macho Grande, Red Disable, and of course, them also being in blues is also absolutely fantastic. We're running a Chokeslam for decks like Azalea since it's doing very well, but then we also have a lot of Clash cards. We have Clash of Might and Vigor. It's just good for low to the ground aggro decks. We're running some Pummel, right? Like we need some disruption, and then we just have some good blues here. We have Boulder Drop, Solid Blue, Wallop, and Thunk are both payoffs for winning clashes, and Buckling Blow and Debilitate are just pretty solid on their own. For our inventory, pretty simple. We have Unmovable, Staunch, this is for Azalea, and probably the Mirror, Go Tall decks, right? Zealous is very good in the Mirror, and also into Illusionist, and then we have Arcane Polarity against some of the either split damage or arcane-based heroes. And we're only running AB1 until I see Kano become an actual deck in this format. I don't really think you need to bring any more than AB1. Currently, the tournament results are shaking out that I don't think AB3 is required. But that is the overall list. Very simple to play. Not much going on here. But we'll get into a game. That way you can see how I would pilot this deck. Playing into Briar here. Our turn 1, we actually can dominate Macho Grande, but it requires us giving up our Test of Strength. Alternatively, we could use the Old Knocker and then sandbag this in hand. This is kind of a tough call for me because I do think that this is probably what we need to win the game, and we're never going to redraw this most likely. But sending 10 on turn 1, at least leaking probably 6 damage on turn 0, I feel like might be a better line. The hardest thing here though is that I think you can play this matchup for fatigue, so it makes it a little bit difficult to figure out if I should actually be prioritizing damage here. We're just going to block 3 on this. We go ahead and we win the clash, so we do have a Vigor. We could 2-card Chokeslam on our turn if we want to, or we could block out with everything and pop the chess piece and actually 0-card swing Millers. And we know that we have no way to lose the clash. Flying high into Snatch here. I think this is reasonable, to me at least. I mean, we could hedge a little bit. We know that they're just going to draw Sigil of Earth on their turn, but they did play the Flying High, so my assumption that they actually do want to use the final card. We'll just take a clean breakpoint block here. But there definitely is a line where we block for 6 with a card and hold the armor. But at least now we get to send the Chokeslam for 8. I mean, this is both over half of my opponent's remaining life total, as well as an actual disruptive on hit. They have no more armor available besides Knocker. All right, so they block this out. We do know about the Sigil of Earth from the Clash, so we know that they just have a blue in hand. It looks like they're just gonna play it out, which means that we're just gonna go ahead and send 10 on our turn. Looks like they're taking all of it, so they're down to 3, which means that we have a lot of leeway now in the matchup. Any hand that we have now that sends the Hammer at least takes 1 card from them. For an attrition game plan at this point, it should be pretty simple, especially once they get low enough that Hammer starts taking 2 cards every turn. I just think that they just lose on 2 different axes. All right, so they're playing Sizzle, a Snatch, so I'm assuming that they're going to use the Suede Hides on these. If that is the case, I still have to think about Lightning Press here. So I'm kind of tempted just to block for 7 and deny this. But also, we're high enough in life total that I think we might be okay letting this on hit through, as sketchy as that seems. I feel like this is a very obvious Lightning Press to me. Okay, looks like we got pretty lucky here. Starfall After for 5. We're actually gonna use Civics here. Just because anything they probably would send, I'm going to block out anyway. I don't really think they're going to get to abuse the Quicken token with the remaining 2 cards. All right, so this is coming in for 7. It was not fused, so this is only threatening the embodiment on hit. We could block this out and just not send the hammer on our turn, but I feel like it's a little bit too easy just to block this out here. The real question is if I want to block with everything to deny the embodiment. They have a lot of 2 blocks. I'm not seeing a whole lot of 3 block non-attacks, so their 2 block would go up to 4, which actually would cover up the grindstone hit. But maybe that's not really a concern for us here. And it's more about just taking a single card. I'm going to take a bit of a gamble here and assume that we want to actually have blocking for on hits for the rest of the game. I mean, this is a little bit overcomplicating something that's pretty simple because like we're at 16, they're at 3. If I had to guess, I would assume we have this game pretty much on lock here. Like something would have to go very wrong for us to lose in this position. But I still want to think about this as if this were a closer game, how would I play this? And that could be a consideration. They do have the helm though, so if they really wanted to block out the 1 damage, it wouldn't be a concern for them. Our turn probably looks like just blocking down to 1 blue and hopefully sending grindstone for 5. And we do have some options here. I mean, sending 10 off the disable is also very valid to me, so I think we'll go ahead and actually do that. We actually whiff. So we end up getting the whole hand. Once we're at this point in the game, I mean, fatigue via damage is also super real. I feel like we have the game wrapped up on 3 different axes at this point. We're going to go ahead and telegraph something very obvious to our opponent, but we're going to go ahead and block. And I'm thinking if I want to give them the embodiment value or not. I'm kind of leaning towards no. I think we've seen both snatches, so I don't really see a whole lot of value happening anymore at this point in the game. We're going to go ahead and send grindstone. If they only respect it for 4, then we'll at least get to pummel it. My assumption is that that's not going to happen. And we'll probably get like a block for 5 on it, but I'd still perfectly be fine taking them down to 1. Okay, so we get the block for 5 here. Pretty expected. We'll at least get to put them down to 1. Rip a card from them off the top of the deck, most likely, and then every single time we swing the hammer now, we're taking 2 cards. I just think that we have them beat both on life as well as cards in deck. They're put in a spot now where they just lose to fatigue just by either blocking us out or now trying to play out the rest of their deck because their deck is so small. They're down 10 cards and we still have 14 health. We'll go ahead and block for 4 here. Draw a card. And at this point, we're just waiting to draw Macho, and then we'll just have the game wrapped up. Or we can just keep on sending Grindstone every single turn until they have no more cards in deck. I mean, either one is viable at this point. All right, so we get 9 block on this. Very good from our perspective. And we're just gonna, I guess, block with Clash of Vigor. This kind of does nothing for us, but we're just gonna send 10 on our turn. And honestly, this may be lethal depending on if they have enough 2 blocks in hand. Yeah, so it looks like we do actually get there. It's based on them having 2 blocks. So you can kind of tell you're playing mainly for value proposition. Like you're playing efficient lines. Like that one turn we decided to use armor. That way we could hold the chokeslam to send it. So you're trying to play as tightly as you can. I don't know if I would exactly come into this assuming I'm just going to play blackout fatigue, but just good value lines, just fundamental fab. I think this deck performs very well at, especially in this lower power format. You have access to card draw and really good equipments, and you do have very good static cards and a hammer that swings for 4, but you also present the fatigue angle in game. So I think overall he seems like a pretty solid deck. But hopefully this was helpful for you understanding it if you want to play it yourself. Until next time, thank you for watching.